Hello again, everybody. A few people asked me to post a video of myself teaching. I haven't taught in a few years. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I do have like a little clip of myself teaching a little bit of Psychology 101. We went over Freud, the id, ego, and the superego, and how balancing them creates a successful person. And if you have an inflated id, that can lead to a lot of self-control issues as an adult, etc. Then we went over Pavlov and classical conditioning, and wanting to train your brain to do better, healthier routines in terms of learning, being a student, being an employee, or even working out, eating healthy, anything. It's all psychology. It's all in your mind and training your brain. So I have a quick clip of myself teaching little Psych 101, and then I'll see.
So id is I want. The ego is your view of yourself, and the superego is repression, aka self-control. So what I want to do for you guys today, back here, I want you guys to practice self-control. If you're tired and you want to have your head down, I want you to be able to have enough self-control to say, you know what, I can keep my head up for 20 minutes. I can stop talking to my girlfriend for 5 minutes so I can listen to my teacher. All right? It's simple training, and people who are good students, pretty much, they have usually an inflated superego. They have more self-control. They want to do the same things that you want to do. They want to turn up on the weekends. They don't want to do homework, but they force themselves to. They train their brains to. Who works out physically? Who works out? Who has a six-pack like me?
Yeah, dude. You want to see?
No, I'm good. So, but how hard is it to get a six-pack? What do you have to do? You have to train your body.
I was born with it.
You got to eat right. So, hey, why don't we have that same rigor, that hard workingness to shape our brains? Instead, we condition ourselves negatively. What happens when your alarm clock rings for some of you? What do you do?
Wake up.
Do you wake up?
Nah, I was like,
What do you do? You snooze. Who's a snoozer? You unplug it.
Nah, except for school. Except for in the school. I was like, my phone programmed to only ring
How you
for
wake up?
upset.
When you wake up naturally, then?
Yeah, I just get that little 5 seconds that turned into 5 minutes. And then I'll be like, I'll wake up like,
You'd be ugly as hell.
Are you going to be successful in life if that pattern, if
No,
that
because
conditioning
he can have a
continues?
job and not make it to that job because he wanted to take that 5 seconds of sleep that turned to 5 minutes. I'm gonna get up. I ain't gonna get up.
Emmanuel's raising his hand. Jordan, is your hand up back there?
All
right. Emmanuel.
So what have we learned? So I was teaching my class about psychology, self-control. I tie it into moral development. I throw in MLK, I throw in Gandhi, I throw in Buddhism, I throw in all the major monotheistic religions and what they teach. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I then tie that in with Kohlberg's theory of moral development, which I got from a book called Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. I've discussed this book before. It's from, I think it was a 5th grade teacher. I'm high school, so not everything related to me, but a lot of it did. There's a lot of parallels. These high school kids sometimes can act very immature, and so they can be treated similarly with the same consequences as the younger kids. So the point of the Psychology 101 lesson was, firstly, we were discussing Freud as a historical figure and his impact on society. And throwing Psychology 101, where they already had moral development training, meditation training, talking about people like Gandhi and MLK and their morality and their civil disobedience, and tying everything together, showing them the matrix, and asking them what is the point of their existence, asking them what is reality, asking them how do they view themselves, how do they want to view themselves, how do others view themselves. This was a world culture and geography class, but I was able to infuse these things in, talking about different cultures, talking about people like Freud, and just really tying it together. I always taught my students the least important thing I was going to teach them as a history teacher was history, and I was going to teach them how to live life, how to care. That's what it's all about, helping each other out. And there's different ways to do that. That might sound like a political statement, but it's not. You can help people out in many different ways. And the biggest way to do that is empathizing and sympathizing. If I were this person, how would I feel? And what would I need? And just operate that way. All right, Kohlberg's theory of moral development, look into that. I might do a video on that. Just to give you the gist, I'm going to go over something called the Heinz Dilemma. Hey, pardon my appearance, but I wanted to keep filming this video and go over the Heinz Dilemma. And it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm on break, so I figured I would keep going. It's a little cold in my apartment at the moment, so I'm all bundled up. Alright, so the Heinz Dilemma is something I go over with my class in the beginning of the year, as per the book, Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. You're setting up your classroom to care about their actions and how their actions affect others. If you can get kids to think that way, then the rest of the school year will be so much easier for you, for them, and the rest of their lives. Okay, so the Heinz Dilemma, this is what we got. I propose this scenario to my students. There is a man, his name is Mr. Heinz, and his wife is dying. There is a drug that could possibly save her life, but it costs $2,000. Mr. Heinz went around to his friends and family, did what he could. He's got $1,000, and he goes to the drugstore owner and he says, "Hey man, I really need this drug. My wife is dying. I only got $1,000." The drugstore owner says, "Sorry, if I give it to you for $1,000, I have to give it to everybody for $1,000, and I got to make my money." Fun fact: the drug only cost $200 to make. So regardless, this drugstore owner is making a lot of profit. But alas, Mr. Heinz cannot afford it. Drugstore owner won't work with him. So the question I pose to my students is, what do you do? Do you steal the drug? You need it ASAP. You need it right away. Your wife's dying. Do you steal the drug? Now, your answer doesn't really matter. And this is where Kohlberg's theory of moral development comes into play. Kohlberg says that there are 6 stages of moral development. And usually based on your age, you fit into one of those stages. No, it's all relative. Morality, there's a lot of gray areas in morality. It's not just like all stealing is wrong. If you believe all stealing is wrong, then you are on level 1, stage 1 of Kohlberg's moral development theory. These are the young kids, the 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds that are like, no, mommy said stealing is wrong. All stealing is wrong. You can't steal. You might get punished. You can't get punished. All right. So stage 1 is obeying
authority, fearing authority, obedience. As you get older, now you're like 7 or 8, and you realize the power that you have. And in this case, you can kind of give into your selfish needs. You've had parents telling you no, 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 but now you're on your own, making your own decisions a little bit, and you say, you know what, yes, I am going to steal that drug. You start to realize you can do things that you were told you're not allowed to do, and in fact, you progress. But so you're thinking about first level, no one. Then you're thinking about yourself. Stage 3 is thinking about really your loved ones, people you care about. And so now you would steal the drug, yes, but not because it benefits you, but because it benefits someone else. Do you start to see the progression here? Think about no one, think about yourself, think about loved ones. Stage 4 is utilitarianism, where you think about society as a whole. What is best for most? Is it best for me to steal this drug? If I steal the drug, how will I steal it? Will I throw a brick through the window? That might incite a riot. That might cause a lot of chaos around me. And so you're starting to think about other people than just your loved ones now. Now you're thinking about society as a whole. So as you could see, moral development is putting yourself in the shoes of as many people as possible. And the more people that you have in your perspective, the better choices you'll make, and the less selfish you'll be, and the more you'll want to help each other out. And so how this correlates to a classroom: I'm cold, close the window. That's one person who's cold. What if everyone else in the classroom is hot? Who are you thinking about? And what should you do? And so I relate this to the classroom, and all my kids, they start to gang up on each other, and they'll say to each other, you know, that's level 2 thinking. You're being selfish. That's level 2. And then maybe we'll have a vote. Hey, who wants the window open? Who wants the window closed? Or we'll work it out. Stage 5 is, that's really where civil disobedience comes into play. That means you would not steal the drug on stage 5. Instead, you would start to think, wait a minute, this guy's making so much profit. If he sells a drug for $2,000, he's making $1,800 profit every time he sells this drug. Let's try to fix that. Let's protest. Let's try to get new legislation to lower the price of this drug. So you would not steal the drug. Your wife might die, but you might save the lives of thousands of other wives in this scenario. And that's hard to swallow for some people. No, like, no, that's my wife. I need to save her. I need to save her. But in terms of moral development, you know, would you, kill 1 million people to save one life? The scenarios like that in terms of morality. So lastly, level 6, stage 6 is impossible to get, but ideally, this is where you want to be. But everybody has to be on stage 6 for stage 6 to work. Stage 6 would be the most logical answer. I only have $1,000. The drug costs $2,000. What can we do about this? The drugstore owner could say, layaway. Give me the $1,000, and you could pay the other $1,000 via a payment plan, or you can work it off, or whatever the case may be. That's a compromise. That is the drugstore owner saying, "Oh wow, this guy's wife is dying. I got to step it up. There's something that I can do." And then likewise, it's Mr. Heinz thinking about the drugstore owner saying, "You know what? This is his business, and this is what he's charging, and so I'm going to pay him in full, just not right away, because it's the least that I can do to do things from his perspective." That's level 6 thinking. Use it. Give it to your kids. Bring it up throughout the school year, and then you could tie it into psychology. If you want to close that window because you're cold, not only is that stage 2 thinking, but you have an inflated id, and you just want the instant gratification, and you don't think about anything else, and you have no self-control. All right, you tie all these things together in the classroom, no matter what your subject content is. There's a lot of apathy, and you just want to infuse these things in them. If you can, all right, then when you start teaching your content, you can just connect the content with all of this. You know, from history, it's a lot easier. We could talk about Napoleon. Hey, where does Napoleon fit in moral development? Where does Napoleon fit in terms of his ego, right? And now everything just gets tied in, and it's a nice package, and it's beautiful. So this is a tool I wanted to share with you all, that you can use it. Thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, share this video if you think it was helpful. Check out my other videos, my meditation videos, and my alternative discipline policy, etc.